Hello everyone, welcome once again to my channel. My name is Portelles, and for today's video, we have a brand new episode of Extraordinary Talks. Now, I'm really excited about this episode because I've been planning it for the longest time and it finally happened. So to say that I'm thrilled to present to you this conversation, it's really an understatement. As you can tell by the title of this video, today's guest is Christelle Abello, a beautiful woman with so many qualities, so much substance, and so much to bring to the table. She also has vast experience in the world of pageantry. And during our conversation, we spoke about so many things going from the ups and downs of being in a beauty pageant, but also about mental health, dealing with people's expectation, depression, and what is yet to come. As usual, the only thing that I'm going to ask from you is that if you enjoy my video, please go ahead and leave a like so that it gets recommended to more people. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. And last but not least, let me know in the comment section, what did you think about our conversation and who do you want to see next on my channel? All right, ladies and gentlemen, being the one to return is never easy. But for this candidate, a comeback to Miss Universe Philippines is a mission. And let me tell you, this time her comeback is stronger than ever. I will meet you with Christelle Abello right after the intro. Be strong. Welcome to a brand new episode of Extraordinary Talks, everyone. And just like I promised, here I have our beautiful guest, Christelle Abello. How are you doing, my dear?
Hi, my dear Louise. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Look, it's really my pleasure. I've been looking for this conversation. I've been expecting this for quite some time, and I'm thrilled to finally have you here with me.
I know, same. I'm really excited to chat with you tonight and get to know each other a little bit more. So
Okay.
I'm excited.
You're the sweetest. All right, Christelle. So let me put you on the spot, and I'm going to ask you to kind of introduce yourself a little bit with just a few words for those out there who might not be as familiar with you and what you do.
Sure.
How would you introduce yourself?
So yes, my name is Christelle Abello. I'm 27 years old. I am representing the province of Aklan, as most of you know. I grew up in the States, in California specifically. I moved around a lot, and now I'm here back in the Philippines, living here at the moment, chasing my dreams for the crown. So that's just me. And if I were to speak in a little more casual environment, I would just tell people, I'm just your girl next door, very chill, very relaxed, and I love to meet new people. I love talking with new people. So, everything's all good, and I'm just a very just a chill girl.
Yes, that is exactly the vibe that I got from you. The first time that I started like watching your videos, even with your introduction video, you come off as being so relatable. It's just like
Oh.
I was watching that video and I was like, I want to be best friends with her. Like I want to go to the beach with her.
I know, right? Let's go.
So I wanted to ask you, now that the competition obviously is getting closer, how is it going on
Yes.
your end, and what is your mindset right now? Let's say like at this point in time, how do you feel about the competition?
Ooh, a lot of mixed emotions right now. I'm really anxious. I'm really excited. There's a lot of pressure, but then at the same time, I want to stay focused, and I also just want to enjoy the ride. So I just have a bunch of emotions going on right now, but for the most part, good stress, good emotions.
Exactly. And like you said, I feel like sometimes it's natural to feel sometimes a little bit of mixed emotions because there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of expectation, right? But you're doing
Correct.
the right thing. You're following your dreams. We see how much effort you're putting on this. So, I mean, it's all good. Just enjoy the journey.
Yes, thank you. That's the goal.
And this year is your official reintroduction to the world of Miss Universe Philippines as a candidate, because you already did it during last year, right? In 2020 with the first edition. What would you say is the biggest difference between Christelle last year and Christelle this year today?
Ooh, I think the biggest difference in myself is I'm a lot more confident now. And I think that's because I know who I know myself a lot better now, and I know my strengths. I know how to capitalize my strengths. And also in terms of weaknesses, I've also learned to really prioritize my time in those weak areas so that I can just improve myself to the best that I can. So I think I'm just a lot more confident now, and I have a lot more passion to really get this crown this time around.
Yes, that's the objective. That's the goal, going for the crown.
Yes, yes, yes. We're all driven for it. Yes.
So in your introduction video, you mentioned that you love traveling, that you love adventure, going out of your comfort zone, and trying new things overall. So in your opinion, what are some of the must places, like the must visit places in the Philippines? Asking for a friend, huh?
Of course, of course. Okay, so I am representing, of course, the province of Aklan, and it would be a shame to not promote our beautiful paradise, Boracay. But that's already a given to everyone. So if I were to recommend another must see in Aklan, I would actually invite and encourage everyone to come to this festival that we have every January called Ati-Atihan. And it's a crazy festival, and we celebrate and honor the child Jesus. And a lot of the people, or a lot of the Aklanons, they dress up like the natives, and they dress like the Ati people. And we just dance all night long and celebrate. And it's just a really fun time. And I think a lot of people should really experience and enrich themselves into that culture and that experience at least once in their lives.
Yes, absolutely. And that's definitely one of the best things about traveling. And even when it's like
Yes.
national travel, it's like within the country, you get to discover like other places, and the culture sometimes is different, the traditions. So it's definitely an
Yes. Yes, yeah, and it's so fun. It's just really fun seeing how things are in different parts of the world. It's really nice to just really enrich yourselves in different types of cultures.
So talking about a clan, how does it feel to have so much support and people backing you up and really rooting for you? Does it feel like it's a lot of pressure, or does it make you feel more confident in this competition?
You know what? A little bit of both. I have received a lot more confidence now to fight harder because I know that they're still behind me and still rooting for me. But of course, at the same time, I still have that pressure that's on my shoulders, but that's just very normal. But again, I am honestly really lucky to have such a strong support system. And not just also from my fellow Aklanons, but also on my mom's side, because my mom's side is also from Cavite, the province of Cavite. And I also have family members on that side who are supporting me to this day. And it's just really nice to have, like I said, such a strong support system. And, having that type of love and receiving such positive feedback, it just pushes me so much more to try and fight harder. So it's great.
I love that. And from the outside, from the perspective of a member of the audience, it does show how much they love you, how much they root for you. And it's been reflected even on the
Yes.
challenges, with the fun voting and
Yeah.
all.
Yes, I know. Yeah, it's really touching. It's so sweet.
Definitely blessed.
Correct. Yes, correct.
So let's talk a little bit about your family as well, because you were born in the US or in the Philippines?
So, yes, as someone who was born in the States and also with an international upbringing, my parents made it a point to keep the culture and the language, the food within the household. And I think having my mom specifically reiterate the fact that I cannot forget my roots, I cannot forget my blood, where I came from, the fact that she reiterated that so much, it just was just drilled in my head and just became a part of my identity and just solidified who I am as a person. And although, yes, I did grow up in the States, like I said, my parents just really we're just really traditional, and I'm really appreciative of that because up until this day, it's just a part of me, and I'm really proud of carrying that brand of someone who grew up internationally but still with a heart that's rooted in my motherland. And that's the kind of girl I am, up until this day. So I'm really grateful for the upbringing that I had when I was young.
And I feel like it's a beautiful mix. And in my opinion, it's kind of like the concept of a modern, young Filipina, the fact that you
Ah,
come
yes.
No, we don't have to put you in a box and like make you like look a
Correct.
certain way or feel a certain way. You are like diverse, beautiful, and modern.
Correct. Yes, correct. Love it.
Absolutely. So we'll talk also a little bit about your change of look from last year up until now. So it feels like this is part of an evolution from one year to another. What would you say to those who have mentioned that they preferred like the longer hair, like last year's styling, for example?
I like how you said this is like a part of an evolution. Like, wow, this is such a
Mhm.
crazy transformation, right? To those people who are saying they prefer my older hair, I mean, you can I don't have a problem with it. I think that every person is entitled to their own opinion. Personally, for me, I wasn't ready for the haircut when I had to go through the haircut because I was so used to my long hair. And it also took me so many years to grow it out just for the pageant, and just to chop it all off was was heavy for me. And so I myself wasn't for it, but now, it's definitely a look. It's definitely growing on me. And I think that it does make me a little more edgier, a little more mature. And I just, it's time for Christelle 2.0.
Yes, I love that. Christelle 2.0. And personally, going back to what we were saying, sometimes we don't have to put you in a box. If this makes you feel beautiful, it
Correct.
makes you feel comfortable, confidence as well. And at the end of the day, you
Correct.
look beautiful. Look at you, you are stunning. I mean,
Oh, Luis, thank you so much. Yes, you're so sweet. Yes, thank you.
no problem. All the truth. It's all the truth. And if anyone complains, just call me, girl, and I'll be right there too. I got your back, okay? So, because this is not the first year that you're joining the Miss Universe Philippines competition, what would you say is one of the biggest lessons that you have learned from last year?
Ooh, maybe not a lesson from last year, but a lesson from all the pageants combined that I've ever joined.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest takeaway is learning how to take my time. Because when you're out on stage, you tend to forget and don't realize how fast and how fast paced everything is. And you don't really realize that you only have a matter of seconds to impress the judges. And though it's only a matter of seconds, it's really possible for you to make such a great impact. And I think it's just so important to take your time, to breathe, and to show your best self in those short amount of seconds. And I think it just changes the whole competition, and how you approach it. So I think taking my time, breathing within the moment, living within the moment is definitely a lesson that I've learned throughout my pageant experience. Because sometimes in the past, I tend to, I kind of, I'm scared, I'm scared to go out there. I'm nervous and I'm like, oh, okay, let's just go and let's just do it. And then I end up rushing through the portions, through the swimsuit, the evening gown. And then when I look back and I watch the videos, I regret to myself and I tell myself like, oh, I should have just taken my time a little more and just be within the moment because that moment is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So
I agree. I really like the fact that you mentioned this because sometimes, we get so caught up in the
yes.
nerves and the anxiety and expectations from people. But it's important to remind yourself to have fun and enjoy the moment. And
Correct. Yes.
also for the audience, for the people out there watching us, and also like the fans of pageants, everyone has an opinion. And everyone, doesn't matter how well you do or how bad you do or whatever happens, everyone will be opinionated about it. And
Correct.
we tend to forget that the candidates, you, but also like the other girls, prepare for this for months, sometimes years,
Correct.
and they only
Correct.
have like a few seconds to impress the judges. So
Correct.
it doesn't matter what happens. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't take away credibility from the candidate, or maybe it just wasn't your day, or you were not feeling 100 on that precise moment, but it doesn't take away from you. So I just hope that everyone is kind to everyone. When it comes to the candidates in the competition, everyone is just trying their best. Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, I agree. I hope everyone, I'm really excited to meet the girls. I haven't, officially met any of them, and I hope that everyone is kind to each other and sweet. So I'm excited.
Yes. I met a few of the candidates this year, and everyone has been
Yes.
so amazing, so amazing. And I know you are in a sisterhood with Sam and Victoria, so they're both great as well. So no, well,
I
well.
am. Yes, I love them so much. They make this journey a lot easier. It's really nice to have someone with you, when you're going through something like this, so you don't feel so alone. So I'm glad to have them with me in this journey.
So let's talk
Mhm.
about the competition a little bit. And once again, looking back at last year, so you made it to the top 16 last year. What was your state of mind at that point during the coronation night? Did you feel satisfied? Did you want more?
Oh, okay. So I think my biggest mistake from last year's finals night is I made a mistake once, and that mistake led me to my downfall. After that one mistake, I it was really hard for myself to pick myself back up, and so therefore my next performance, which was actually the swimsuit performance, I think you can kind of see in my face that I have so much disappointment in my face because I knew I messed up from the previous segment. So I think that's something that I learned from last year. However, after the competition, I it was also a mix of depression, also a mix of happiness. Happiness because it was just amazing to see how far the girls and I had come, because we had started the pageant in February of 2020, and it didn't proceed until October of 2020, and it was the most stressful journey. And to be able to be a part of such a beautiful production, last year's production I think was amazing, and to be a part of a great show, and to be surrounded by phenomenal women, I think that was such a great takeaway from last year, as and it just made me happy to be a part of that experience. And then at the same time, I was of course also I went through a moment of depression, just because I felt like I had disappointed people. I felt guilty. I felt like I hadn't fought as hard as I should. And so I just, decided to stay away from social media, give myself a break, and focus on myself, and give time and space just for my own thoughts and myself.
I can definitely understand, like the feeling and the pressure that you might have felt at that point. As a matter of
Correct.
fact, there was a moment when I was preparing for the interview, I was going through your Instagram, and there was a post that you made like the night of the coronation, like right after, like it was your
Mm.
post coronation. And let me quote, it was something that you mentioned that it says, "To be honest, I am still heartbroken. Disappointment within myself and a missed opportunity keep running through my head. Most of all, I can't help but feel like I let all of you down." Well, like you mentioned, sometimes it's very hard for the candidates, might go through depression, might go through a phase where you just want to like be with yourself for a while. But I also want you to be kind to yourself and remember that true pageant lovers, we do understand and we uplift you no matter what. And we know that there are like so many beautiful worthy candidates on each edition of the pageant, but at the end of the day there's only one crown, right? So also keep
Correct.
that in mind,
Correct.
especially if you go to a dark place in your mind and it's difficult. Don't hesitate to reach out or to look for someone that might be willing to listen or to maybe help you. And also remember that a lot of us are not like Judge Judy, like just trying to tell you well, nah, we just love you for who you are, and we appreciate everything that you've done. So
Oh, Luis, yes, you're so sweet. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And I think it's important that we also, let other girls know the same, that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to have your moments of downfall. As long as we continue to uplift, support each other, then, one day you yourself will be able to get back up and be strong.
thank you so much
Yes.
for sharing that. I think that we don't talk enough about mental health in pageants.
Correct. Yes,
So
yes.
important.
Which I'm also very passionate about as well. It's not my advocacy, but it's something that I feel should be discussed more often, and I think it's something that we should prioritize, especially to this generation today,
Yes.
you know. And
Super.
just always remember that, yeah, and always just remember that, that we're loved, and that we should be surrounded by those who love us and care for us.
Amazing. I love that. Honestly, I do.
I know,
So
I love that too. Wow, we got so deep.
that was a moment during the interview. But no worries. Now we're gonna go back up and
Okay,
enough
yes.
talking about dark feelings and failures. Let's talk about what changed. So can you tell me, was there a moment where you felt like things shifted for you and you just decided, you know what, I'll give it a try again?
Yes. Okay, so this actually happened not too long ago, because I remember that the application was due, I think, in July, and it wasn't until a few days before that deadline I finally was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So it was sort of a last minute thing, and I think I just kept holding on to the idea because I kept debating within myself if this was really a path that I wanted to take again, given what happened last year with my whole disappointment and that kind of thing. So I was really debating, but at the same time there was something in me that really pushed me to just say, just do it one more time, just try for it and go for it. And the reason for this is because I am a dual citizen, so I have the option to go back to the States. And I felt like after my Miss Universe Philippines journey, I was kind of lost. I didn't know what to do next. And I was being practical, because also at my age, I'm 27 years old, it might be time to maybe think of my future practically, and maybe settle down or like find a stable career. So that was definitely in my head, and it's so easy for me, like I am privileged that I do have that option, that I can go back to the States. And so that was, I guess, that was just lingering in my head. And although that was lingering in my head, there was something in me that kept telling myself, if I leave the Philippines now with this some sort of maybe emptiness, then I would never forgive myself. And I would just regret the day that I left the Philippines and went back to the States. And I don't know what it was, but I knew that there was something in my heart that I knew that I knew that something had to be finished, something had to be accomplished. It was almost as if like last year was just unfinished business, and it's time that I finish that business and take it home. So I think that's what switched it all for me.
Oh, I just listening to you, honestly, I just have like the biggest smile on my face because that's such an inspiring message, like you were able to overcome
Yes.
a period of darkness in your life and turn something negative into a positive experience. That's a beautiful
Yes.
message for people out there that look up to you and see you as a role model. I love it because you're showing that not everything in life is perfect. Like sometimes we tend to just
True.
show the positive, but in the backstage there's a lot of things going on. So I love that.
Yes. Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes.
And you feel ready. You feel, I mean, I look at you and look so beautiful, so confident. And I'm sure that no matter what is the outcome of this year's edition, I know that you're giving your best. So that's all that I need as a pageant fan. So, and I hope people share the same opinion.
Aw, thank you so much, Luis. Yes, I appreciate that. It just uplifts me so much knowing that so many people out there are behind me.
Of course. We got your back there.
And
So when you decided
I
to
got
go
you
back,
too, Luis. I got you
oh,
too.
on You're the sweetest. So knowing that you, well, because you decided to go back kind of like last minute, like you said, when the applications came out and all of this, it wasn't something that was necessarily already planned for you. Uh, How
Correct.
did you start preparing at that point? Because that means that some of the candidates that might have been thinking about joining since last year, they've been training, they've
Mm.
been getting everything done, but then you decided last minute. How do you go from there?
Oh, that's a great question. The moment I decided to submit my application, I think what I did, if I recall correctly, I cut all the unnecessary things out of my life, and I started setting up a schedule, and so that I can like and setting up a calendar so that I can see where I need to prioritize my time. And I even cut off, I don't even know if this is appropriate to say, but I kind of cut off some like relationships, some some romances, just so just so that I can really focus this time around. And I just wanted to keep good energy in my environment, just so that I can stay uplifted and stay motivated. And I, like I said earlier, when I started planning and doing all the calendar work, I just made sure that I contacted all the right people to resume training again. And right from the get-go, we started, and every single day up until now, I have some sort of schedule to help me prepare for the finals night.
It's definitely a journey, and you have like so little time and so much to prepare. And thank you
Yes.
so much for sharing. I mean, honestly, the objective with the interview is not to be like intrusive with your personal life whatsoever, but I appreciate that you share, because what my purpose is with this is for people to see, to the lengths that the beauty queens
Oh,
what
correct.
they're able to do to make this happen, and sometimes whether it
Correct.
happens like their way or not, like the fans should be a little more caring, a little more kind sometimes. And I love that you're being so honest, because it shows you
Yes.
under like a relatable light. We've all been in a like in a situation where you have to like put that aside and focus on, I've been there.
Yes.
So
Yeah, sometimes we just gotta cut out like the unnecessary things in life.
where are my sisters? Wait.
Right? Crown now, love life can wait.
Exactly. I love that. So, in my opinion, your strategy so far has been very simple, really clean, sharp,
Mm,
minimalistic, I might say. And that is actually a
mm,
compliment. What I mean by that is that a lot of girls, like they put a lot of effort and cinematography and, this and that. But everything that I've
mm.
seen from you, from your headshot to your introduction video to your runway video, everything is just, I feel like the focus is just to put you under a positive light and just allow you to shine by
Oh.
yourself. There's no like distractions around it. It's just Christelle. Was that like part of your original strategy, or is something that just happened?
Oh, thank you so much. I do take that as a compliment. I do agree that I'm not into the too much glitz glam. I'm more of a raw, like see me for me kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes, a lot of special effects, or yeah, special effects or distractions will just take away from who you are as a candidate, and I want people to see who I am. So it's not really a strategy, to be honest. It's just something that I want to put out to the world, because I want other girls, to feel that they can be this, they can be that, and still shine and still be phenomenal with just the way they are, without needing any special effects or anything of that matter.
Exactly. And don't get us wrong, like, I mean, we love the effects and all, like the ones who have
Correct.
beautiful. But I also like to see like a healthy balance, that someone is able to
Correct.
show herself under a very natural light and still, shine and be like one of the top competitors of the competition.
Correct. Correct.
From all of the challenges that you have put out so far, which one has been the most difficult for you, and why?
The most difficult of all challenges. I wouldn't say difficult. I honestly enjoy all the challenges. And I'm just happy to be on this journey. So I think, if I were to rephrase the question, I think my favorite challenge so far has been the runway challenge, because I got to travel to Aklan to do my runway challenge. And I think it was just a side of me that a lot of people hadn't seen, because I'm not sure if you know, but last year my pasarela was so that's why coming back as Christelle 2.0, I was really eager to show everyone and just be like, like check out the new me, I can pasarela now. And I was really excited to do that, and to also do it in Aklan, to do it in Boracay, just made it all the more beautiful for me. So I really enjoyed the runway challenge.
Oh, that one was one of my favorites as well. Actually, for every single challenge, I come up with like a little topics, which, I'm all for, but at the same time, I'm a little against because I don't like it when like some of the girls see like the topics and if they don't make it, they might feel bad about it. But I
Yeah.
always tell myself, like it's just for fun and for the audience, fans love it. So, but you actually made the
Yeah.
topics, and I know several of my friends, bloggers as well, you made the topics as well. So, girl, you are consistent. You are delivering.
Thank you so much. And yes, I did see that you included me in your top list. So that just means so much to me. Thank you.
All deserved. You earned that. So, talking about challenges, I feel like one of the most important things during Q&A, actually, one of the most important things during a pageant is Q&A. So, how do you feel about that, the communication skills and all of that? Obviously, you're very good, but does it make you feel
Oh,
anxious?
to be honest, of course it does. I would be lying if I said no, right? I would be lying if I said, "Oh yeah, give me the Q&A."
Bring it
I
on.
do get of course, I do get anxious. Because there's just so much pressure, and you can do so well in the other portions or the other segments, and then kind of just blank during the Q&A. I mean, that has happened to me from personal experience. That's why now I've really changed my training so that I can do well and give an impactful answer this time around. But anyway, it's hard, if I have to be honest, and I understand every girl's the pressure that every girl has to go through. So it's just important to just prepare and train and just breathe.
You can prepare for this like your entire life if you want, but when you get to that
Hmm.
stage and you only have a few seconds and you don't even know what to expect, it's challenging. It's
Correct.
difficult. But just
Correct.
trust yourself, go with the flow, and think of your personal experience, maybe of your advocacy as well, and try to include those elements in there, and everything will be fine. We know you can do it. You actually have a
Yes.
degree in communications, don't you?
I do, yes. But it's still different when you have so many people watching you
I know, I know, I know. It's
and the
challenging.
spotlight is on you. So it's hard, but we got this.
It's hard. I have a degree in communications myself, and I don't do live interviews because, girl, don't put me on the spotlight. So I know what you mean.
It's pressure, right? There's a
A
lot
lot,
of pressure.
definitely a lot. So
But
talking
I
about
do appreciate
experience.
this interview.
Oh, you're so sweet, honestly. So talking about experience, you also have experience as an athlete. Do you feel like being
Yes.
a beauty queen can be compared to being, in sports as an athlete as well?
Yes, I do. We train so much, not just physically. And when I say physically, I also don't mean we're just out here trying to be skinny, because in past experiences I was skinny and underweight and it wasn't healthy. So when I say physically, it's important for us to train right and to be healthy, because when we stand on stage for so many hours, it all relies on our core, on the strength of our core. So it's really important to keep a strong core. It's important to have a healthy mind, and along with a healthy mind comes a healthy body, so, and vice versa. I think that in all aspects of training and how we train, we commit so much and we work vigorously just to, just for the crown. So I can definitely see why people would say that we're also like athletes.
There's a lot of
Hmm.
preparation that goes into that, and that was one of my comments when I first saw your swimsuit photo. I told myself, "Oh, Christelle is looking healthy. Like she looks fine. Like her body's looking right, but most importantly, she looks healthy. Because that's like a big
Mhm.
thing. Being skinny doesn't always mean being healthy. So
Correct, correct. Yes.
yeah,
And I've also changed my training this time, where I'm not crash dieting like in the past, which is something I want to tell the other girls to not do because it's not healthy. It'll just backfire. But now, I eat a lot, but I eat healthy. So a lot of brown rice, a lot of protein, a lot of vegetables, just a lot of color on my plate nowadays. So it's nice to be able to work out so hard, but also eat well to feed my body, my soul, my mind. So it's great.
That is perfect. I love that. Be kind to your body. I mean, it's our home.
Correct.
So
Right, correct. Yes, true.
what do you think it will mean for Filipinos if they were able to get within the same year, the first Olympic medal, but also a Miss Universe crown?
Yes, oh my gosh. Speaking of, Heidelin, that's just crazy that she won our first gold. I think all the props to her. Um, and she's just such an inspiration. But yes, I think it would just bring so much honor to the nation, and it would be amazing for some, it would be amazing to be given the opportunity to be that one to bring honor and pride to our nation. So I think Filipinos would just be ecstatic, and not just ecstatic. I think also during these tough times, it would also be almost symbolic of hope, and pride, and a little symbol of just uplifting each other, during these tough times. So I think having something like that, as groundbreaking as that, would just be amazing for our fellow Filipinos.
I know, such a beautiful message. And especially during these times, it's the type of cheering that the people need. So,
Correct, right?
so because you already went through this experience with Miss Universe Philippines last year, do you feel like that gives you an advantage compared to some of the candidates? Like some of them have a lot of pageant experience and they come from different
Correct.
industries. Some of them are brand new to this, but you've been through this particular pageant before. How do you feel about it?
That's a great question. I don't think I have an advantage over the other girls. I think just now I'm a bit more wiser, I'm more mature, I've learned a lot. And probably now I strategize differently.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference from last year and now. And it does put me at an advantage, but only for, within myself, because now I just kind of I just know how to approach things now, and I've kind of got a feel of how it all works. So
Sometimes if you get like too overly confident, like I got this, I've done this before, I know all the tricks, uh,
correct.
that might backfire. But if you're still, like
Correct.
giving it 110% in the competition and just, trying your best, that's the way to go. I've been dying to ask you this actually. Rabia Mateo, during her reign, I mean, the still reigning queen of Miss Universe Philippines, she had several, public ups and downs, and a lot of, bashing and a lot of people, expecting a lot of things from her. If you were in her position, would you have handled things differently, or how would you have approached that situation?
I honestly really commend Rabia because it's not easy to be in her position. And especially as someone as young as her, she's so young. I think she's 23, 24 years old, and I see her still as a baby. And to be able to see and witness her transform into a phenomenal woman was just, it was a nice to be a part of her experience, and to also be a part of her journey, some way or another. And so I don't think she did anything wrong. And if I were in her shoes, I can see that she did her best, and she gave her all. And I think that we can all just be proud of that and be grateful for her efforts, for her training, for her dedication and her commitment, and just be proud that she held our flag, our Philippine flag, up high for all of us.
Love that. I love that. I'm a big, big, big Rabia Mateo fan. And, it goes back to saying that you can only do the best that you possibly can, right? For as long as you're trying your
Correct.
best, that's all you can do. I mean, and then whatever people expect from you or not, it's up to them. But for as long as
Yes.
as you're giving the best that you can, then your conscience is at ease. So I love your answer. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing.
Ah,
That was
yes,
one of the
thank
fun questions
you.
that kept on coming up. So What is something that you have learned from other beauty queens? And can you name some of them maybe that you look up to?
Of course, yes. I love beauty queens. I love Maria Tatil. She's Miss Australia for Miss Universe, the last Miss Universe. I love Zozubini. Of course, I love our own Filipino beauty queens. I love Pia, Catriona, Megan Young, all those girls who have brought so much honor and pride to our nation. And I think what's great about having so many different beauty queens is that they're also unique in a different way and a special way, that they all have something different to offer to the world or to the universe. And like, for example, with Megan Young, who was Miss World 2012. I appreciate her humility and how grounded she is. And also at the same time, she's kind of a dork like me. She loves playing video games. I love playing video games, and I also watch anime. So I kind of relate to her in that sense. And then someone like Pia, I admire Pia for her persistence, her ability to keep trying and to never give up on her dreams. She joined so many times prior to winning, and I just really admire that for her. And people like Maria Tatil, Zozibini, I just love the way they speak. They are so eloquent, and I can just listen in awe for days with my jaw open. I just love those girls.
I
And
think
I
we
just
plan
love,
a podcast together.
yes, right? I love those girls so much. I am so inspired to be, as great as them.
They're so beautiful and they have like so much substance, so much to offer. If they launch a podcast,
Correct.
I'll be there listening.
Yes, of course. Yes. Let me know.
Yeah, for sure. So earlier you mentioned how you're taking care of your body, being nice to yourself
Yes.
and eating healthy, all of that. But how are you taking care of your mind? Do you have any
Ooh.
wellness tricks?
Ooh, yes, taking care of my mind. Okay, so actually that's something I need to work on, because I am not giving my body and mind the sleep that it deserves. I think nowadays it's really important that we allow ourselves to rest and to sleep. And I kind of feel that I kind of created this bad habit over COVID, where my sleeping schedule and my body clock was off a little. And I think nowadays it's really important that I give my body and mind the sleep that it deserves, because we need to rest, because if you're restless, your mind is all wonky the next day, and it's hard to process and think things. So I think, again, so aside from sleep, staying hydrated, I stay hydrated, and reading is always a great tool. I started a book recently, and I've just been enjoying going through the pages, when I have the chance. So I think reading will definitely help with just keeping your mind open and learning vocabulary and just educating yourself.
Exactly. I feel like reading is really underrated, when it comes to wellness. A
Ah,
lot of people mention
yes.
like yoga and this and that, but reading is actually very, very good for your mind as well. So good trick.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
taking notes. So, talking about your mind and impact, can you tell me a little bit about your advocacy, Christelle? What is it that you're standing for this year?
Okay, so as a product of an international upbringing, yet with a heart that's rooted in my motherland, my heart beats for our Filipino identity. And as someone who grew up abroad, I have witnessed Filipinos all over the world, who have made a positive impact to the universe. And I think that it's really important that, wherever we may be in the world, it's important that we preserve and we stay true to our culture and to our roots, and we give back to our roots, because at the end of the day, the Philippines might need some help in terms of calamities, adversities, and so forth, especially now during this COVID time. And I think it's important that we, all Filipinos abroad, we stay true to our roots, and that we keep it a part of our identity, so that we can give back to the people that need it here in the Philippines.
Oh, I love that. This is something that I mention like pretty much on every single interview, so people are getting bored with me. But I really feel like Filipinos have such a sense of community and they like stick together, you know? Uh,
Correct.
that's what I've
Yes.
noticed, especially when there's something big that happens, whether it's like I don't know, like a natural catastrophe or even like some
Correct.
positive events, like sometimes like now with the Olympic Games or with the pageants,
Mhm.
like just brings people together and doesn't matter the differences or sometimes the cultural, religious differences, people just stay together and they're able to come together for a common cause.
I was just saying it's such a like a distinct trait of ours that we like come together for these like special events or good or bad, and it just shows how strong we are in terms of being there for each other and our families and our communities.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. It's something that a lot of countries need to take notes from, especially my country, Cuba, girl. We are no. Now, precisely in times of a pandemic when we are not able to travel as we want, and maybe, people who live abroad are not able to come to the Philippines and see their loved ones,
Mhm.
or even like the other way around it. How
Mhm.
important do you think it is to really maintain and preserve and appreciate our heritage?
Of course, I think I think it's the most important, one of the most important things, because it's when you know yourself, you know your identity, you know your culture, your heritage, it just solidifies you as a person. And when you know yourself as a person, you kind of also acknowledge like the things that your nation needs. So, for example, me as someone who loves the Philippines so much, I kind of recognize where we might need help or where we need to improve on. And I want to give back to that because I, as a Filipino, feel that other Filipinos deserve the best.
That is such a, like a selfless cause, in my opinion, because it's all about giving back and it's all about
Mm,
bringing visibility to your culture, to your people, preserving,
correct.
traditions as well. So it's so important. What you're doing is
Yes.
really amazing. In your opinion, if the stars align, okay, so I'm going to put you on the
Mm.
spot right now. If
Mhm.
the stars align and you get the next crown of Miss Universe
Mhm.
Philippines, how will you use your platform for a greater purpose, whether it's with your advocacy or for anything else that you want to accomplish with this type of crown?
Okay, so if given the chance and if the stars align for me, I think it's always important to keep in mind that I have to stay my true, authentic self in order to be able to send out a message to everyone else and to inspire everyone else. I have to be genuine and authentic, but at the same time, I have to be empowered and confident in who I am, So I think taking pride in that is a really big factor. And in addition to that, was someone who is given such a huge platform, it's my responsibility to take use of that power and to take use of that platform and to put it to good cause, and use all my resources such as social media, um, speaking up and taking space where I need to speak up and take space, and just doing those things and acting upon goodwill. I think that will just be my best way to be as the Miss Universe Philippines.
Yes, I love that. I love that. It's all for a greater cause. It's all for the common good. So, I can only give you
Correct.
props for all of
Yes.
that.
Correct. Oh, and then also must I add, if you're someone who constantly does good and sees good, I believe that other people will follow and will be inspired to do the same. So as long as I put out the work out there, to be good, to be better, then I think and hope that people will follow and do the same and strive for the best as well.
That is being a leader by example. And that's exactly what we need in times of,
Correct.
challenging times, crazy times. The world is coming to an end, apparently. No, just kidding. But,
Yes.
it's very challenging. And what we need is someone who is able to uplift everyone, whether you get like the international crown or not, like whether it's just like the national, or even if you don't even make it to like the national crown, we need
Mhm.
people who are able to inspire everyone. We need people who are
Correct.
able to put a smile on people's faces, especially when we're going through so much and we're just seeing like
Mhm.
negative and bad news all the time. It's important to
Mhm.
remind ourselves that, this is not the end of the line and better times are ahead of us, and
Yes.
this is not permanent. So thank you so
Yes.
much, Christelle.
Very,
Honestly.
I know, I know. I was gonna say very well said. Here's the crown.
Don't let me on that stage, okay? Because I wanted to thank you so much for doing this. Honestly, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you and get to know you on a personal level. I knew, and I've said this before, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I knew that you were a beautiful girl coming into this interview
Oh,
as I was preparing. But what I get from it is like you said, you're like a girl next door. You are very honest.
yeah.
You're very generous. You are like a best friend. Girl, just be my best friend. Go
Yeah.
to the beach.
Yes, yeah, yeah. You're right. Everything you said is right. I don't, I'm just very chill. I want to be friends with everyone and learn from everyone and meet everyone. So I agree. Talking with you tonight has been such a special experience for me. And also like a kind of a good mood, good energy type of interview. And I really appreciate you for that. So thank you, Luis.
That's the goal. That is the goal, honestly. If you were to take anything away from this moment, from this interview, I just want you to remember that be kind to yourself, believe in yourself, and just focus on the things that matter during the competition and the training, because we know what you can do. We know what you can deliver. So don't doubt yourself. Even if like during a challenge you feel like you didn't live up to your expectation, don't worry about it, girl. You have this. And something that I noticed during the interviews that sometimes you might be a little bit overcritical of yourself, which I am of
Mm.
myself as well. I'm a Virgo, so I'm always like on top of everything that I do. But you are doing amazing, and people love you. People support you. It's reflecting on the fun voting. You are like such a positive model for everyone. So just remember that, take that away with you. Do whatever you want with it, but just remember that you are loved and we appreciate you. Okay?
Aw, thank you so much. And I appreciate and love you as well, Luis.
Oh, wow. So cute. So before I let you go, take like a few moments, like maybe like a few seconds, and what will be your message for the audience, for the people watching you? What do you want them to remember from you, and how can we help you on your journey?
Well, if I could give out a message to everyone out there, it would probably be to take risks and to face your fears and to stand up against the obstacles and the challenges that come your way, because you just never know, and you really have to overcome those fears in order to grow and see your full potential. And on top of that, I think it's really important to never give up on your dreams. I'm 27 years old already, and I remember when I was younger, I would tell myself, oh, by 25, I hope to have a family, to have kids. But look at me now, I'm 27 years old, still fighting for my dream. So fight for your dreams, believe in your dreams, and dream big.
Oh,
And so that's what I would share with everyone. And also to everyone who's been supporting me. Again, I've said this so many times. I appreciate each and every one of you guys so much. I think it's really great that I have you guys alongside with me on this journey, and um I can feel the pride, the passion leaking through me. And so I believe that we got this in the bag. And I appreciate you guys. So thank you to everyone who's voting for me, from everyone from Aklan, my family in Cavite. I hope that we continue to keep the votes up, because it will determine who will proceed to the top 50. Salamat nga abo sa inyong suporta. Mahal na mahal ko kayo. Laban, Aklan.
hey everyone, I wanted to thank you so much for staying with us up until the end of the interview. It was such a fun conversation to share with you guys, and also such a pleasure to talk to Christelle. I really look forward to see what she's going to do during the competition. And I also am thrilled to see you next time with a brand new episode of Extraordinary Talks. If you have any requests or any dream guests, please leave them in the comment section, and I will try to invite them to the best of my ability. Thank you for everything. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you soon with another episode. Mwah. Kisses. Bye.